How's it going, guys? Randall, aka Shizukatz here on the Tressa's Collectibles channel, and today we're going to be doing a product opening for the long-awaited new English edition original set, Attack on Titan Final Season. So you guys have seen Attack on Titan Box 1 and 2 getting their recent reprints as well, all leading up to the long-awaited Final Season booster set. So there's a lot of really cool stuff to look at. A lot of the cards that we're going to be seeing today are going to be featuring the scenes from the first part of the final season, so that being the first 16 episodes, I believe. And we have three cool products to be opening for you guys today. We have, of course, the trial deck, the booster box, which we're going to be opening one booster box of, as well as the supply set. So we're going to be going through each of these products today, hopefully pulling some really cool stuff. Before we begin, we have a couple quick things to talk about. First of all, as far as the set design goes, compared to the first two sets, which mainly focused around the core trait, the final season actually revolves around the Eldian Trait. So now that we know about the true identity of all of the people living on Rarity Island, as well as all the people on the mainland, we now know that all of these characters that we have grown with for all of these seasons are the Eldian race, and so Eldian is the new central trait throughout this set. We are still going to be having some cards that have the old traits, such as Core and Titan, but Eldian is going to be the central focus. And so that opens up a lot of really interesting deck design ideas when trying to incorporate some of the older cards with some of the new stuff. So we're going to be sure to highlight some of those nuances as we go through this opening. And last thing before we get into the actual product opening, as always, we got to take a look at the beautiful case topper playmats. As this is an English edition original set, we are going to be getting 4 case topper playmats per booster case instead of just the one stitched edge, but these 4 are the non-stitched edge variety, but we do have the Declaration of War art, really lovely art, and it's going to be a reoccurring piece of art throughout a lot of the stuff in the Attack on Titan Final Season Weiss Schwarz set. So without further ado, let's get right into our first product. We're going to be starting with the trial deck and then moving on to the supply set and finally our booster box. All right, guys, let's get into the Trial Deck Plus. As usual, a Trial Deck Plus is a pre-constructed deck of 50 cards. It's going to be the same 50 cards every time, and it's playable right out of the box and is a great starter product for those of you who are just getting into Weiss Schwarz. And even if you're not a beginner, there are bound to be some really neat cards that are exclusive to these trial decks that you just aren't able to get out of the booster packs that you might want to include in a fully constructed, optimized version of your deck. So let's go ahead and take a look at the contents. Of course, with every Trial Deck Plus, we are going to be getting goodies such as the paper playmat and the new player guides. We can go ahead and take a look at that. For those of you who don't have a rubber playmat like these, you can go ahead and just utilize the paper playmat. It does have some information here, both on the front and on the back, that you can use to help you get into the game and learn the basics. And then, of course, we have the new player guide. It has some of the other information that you need to know, like the different types of cards and the different phases. And between these two, a lot of really useful information that can help you to take your first steps into the game and make sure that everything is going well with your starting out your journey in Weiss Schwarz. So let's go ahead and get into the trial deck itself. Every single trial deck is going to be having 2 guaranteed foil cards in the SR rarity, and then you have a chance to get an SP as well, which are of course, the sign cards. In this particular trial deck, the 2 SPs that you can pull are a Gabby and a Falco. So let's go ahead and get into these trial deck cards and see what we have in store. So our first SR is, of course, the cover card, Aaron Undercover. I believe this actually has the same name as the Level 0 3K Vanilla that we got back at Anime Expo, where they were giving that out as a promotional item there. So this is an Assist 500, and he also has an Act ability where you can pay 1 and discard a Climax to salvage an Eldian. Being an Act ability, this means that you're able to utilize this effect multiple times as long as he remains on the field, and you can keep discarding climaxes and paying the cost. So potentially, if you're playing a deck with a lot of climaxes in your hand, for example, something with gold bar climaxes or pants climaxes, which I believe both of which are in this trial deck, if I remember correctly, then you will be able to get those climaxes out of your hand and convert them into more useful cards. So here's our level 0 Aaron. And for our second guaranteed SR foil, we have Reiner, Man on a Mission. Of course, the two really important characters in AOT final season being Aaron and Reiner, having that duality between the two. So we have for the level 3 Reiner, he is an on-play top check X, where X is the number of Eldian characters you have. Again, Eldian being the new central trait. And you get to choose one of those cards from among them, add it to your hand, and send the rest to waiting room. Now, notably, Reiner, who previously in the first couple sets was a core trait character when he was still not revealed to be the Armored Titan. In this particular set, he has actually given up his core trait for the military trait. So this means that this card, not really too usable with the old cards. Of course, if you're playing a deck centered around just the Eldian trait, then it's perfectly fine. But with those core cards, not going to be able to make use of any synergies there. And his secondary ability, when he's placed on, or when he attacks, you can pay 1, discard 1, and you mill the top 5 cards of your deck and deal X damage to your opponent, where X is equal to the number of climaxes that you milled. So, pretty useful finisher profile for the trial deck. And so, pretty much in every trial deck, you're going to have one level 3 that is some sort of finisher, and another level 3 that is some sort of healer. Sometimes you have a card doubling as both, but typically you're going to be seeing both of those profiles within a single trial deck. All right, moving right along, we have 2 copies of the Cult Bonder. This bonds to 2 different Falcos, both the level 1 like gold bar support buffer Falco, as well as the Falco drop search, which is these 2. So we'll get to both of these in a sec. And then he also gives both of them continuously 1000 power, so just buffing up their power and giving you access to those utilities through his discard bond. We have the second copy of the Aaron Undercover that we just looked at. Here we have the level 0 Gabby. This is one of the 2 possible SPs, and this is also one of the really, really powerful trial deck exclusive cards that a lot of people are going to be looking out for. So the Gabby has 2 abilities. The first one is up to twice per turn. When your other Eldian character is placed on stage from hand, she gets additional 1k power, potentially allowing her to go up to 3/5. But more importantly, her second ability, her very powerful utility, which we in the Weiss community, we like to call the Fukajiro ability, named after the character Fukajiro from Gun-Gale Online, where when she is sent from the stage to the waiting room, you can discard a card, look at up to 4 from the top of your deck for a level 1 or higher card and add it to your hand and send the rest to waiting room. So it's a really great way to filter cards out of your hand for free, no stock cost, in addition to milling through the deck and potentially finding some better cards to advance your strategy. So next, let's take a look at the 2 level 1 Falcos. So we have, first of all, we have the Drop Search Falco. This is one of the 2 targets for the Cult, with the other one being this Falco right afterwards. So he has an on-play ability where you can pay 1, discard a card to search your deck for an Eldian character, or sorry, not a drop search, drop salvage. You can salvage an Eldian character and then give one of your Eldian characters 1000 power until end of turn, and when he attacks, he gains 2000 power, allowing him to be pretty serviceable 6500 attacker, maybe 7/5 if you have the Cult Bonder. And then for the other Falco, we have the 3 copies here. So basically any card that you see an odd number of copies here means that it has a chance to be a foil card, whether that is a RRR or an SP. So the Gabby and the Falco that we just looked at, these ones have a chance to be SP, while this Falco has a chance to be RRR. So this Falco has an on-attack ability where you can buff one of your other Eldian characters for up to 2000 power based on how many cards you have on board. And additionally, when he attacks, all of your characters gain an ability where if they trigger check a climax, you can discard a climax to salvage an Eldian character. And so this plays into this the climax lineup of the deck, which, as I said, we do have the pants climaxes as well as the gold bar climaxes, where you're going to be getting a lot of climaxes into your hand every time you trigger a climax. And this is going to be one of those cards, in addition to the Aaron Undercover, that can allow you to filter them out of your hand and get character cards that you need, rather than just having a bunch of climaxes in your hand. Next we have the Zofia level 1 vanilla. I think this is actually one of the rare cases where the vanilla has no interaction with any other cards like a bonder or anything like that. So this one's actually, I believe, just a vanilla. We have 2 copies of Udo, where when he's placed on stage from hand, he gets 1,000 power times the number of your Eldian characters until end of turn, so pretty good beater at level 2. And then here we have the other level 3 Gabby. So as I was saying earlier, usually you will have a healer and a finisher in your trial deck, and the Gabby in this particular trial deck does happen to be both. So she has an on-play heal ability, as well as a level 3 climax combo with the gold bar climax, where when she reverses her battle opponent, you can send that character to your opponent's clock. So very, very nice card, and a great finisher top end while also being a healer. So just a really high quality trial deck overall. And lastly, for the green cards, we have 2 copies of the Eldian Armband. This allows you to mill 2 cards and then salvage an Eldian character based on the level of the cards you milled. So just a great way to mill through the deck and grab cards you need, similar to like what you can do with the Gabby level 0. For the climax, we have 3 copies of the War Heroine gold bar climax. Of course, with 3 copies being here, that means that there is a chance for this card to come triple R as well. And of course, we have that memorable Gabby scene where she blew up the armored train in the first episode of final season. I'm pretty sure that was for all of us, that was a really, really bombastic start to the season, and I think is part of what made a lot of people really like Gabby compared to the other characters at the start of the final season. Next up, for the blue cards, we have a lot of the warrior candidates, so the characters like Zeke, Peak, Reiner, Berthold, as well as Porco. And so let's go ahead and take a look at each of those. So we have 4 copies of the Zeke Brainstorm. He has the Brainstorm 5 for each climax you draw a card. And additionally, you can pay 1 to draw a card and discard a card. Again, another way to get useless cards out of your hand, things like the extra climaxes or just whatever you don't want in your hand that you can't use, and be able to potentially draw into more stuff. We have 2 copies of the Peak. On play, if your opponent has only 1 character in their front row and it is a cost 0, you can send it to the bottom of the deck, and she has on death pay to search. So this is a card that's pretty similar to the Rudius PR that is running around in Mushoku Tensei decks, with a couple key differences being obviously she has on death pay to search instead of salvage. In addition to, because she has search instead of salvage, her base power is actually much lower at only 500. And her on-play ability, sending the opponent's character to the bottom of the opponent's deck as well. This is a pretty powerful profile that can be very useful against certain decks where they really don't want their cards getting sent other places like the bottom of the deck. And this is a potentially very powerful card for that. And of course, how could we forget Annie? Female Titan warrior candidate. On play, she can give 1,500 to one of your Eldian characters. We have Marcel, the original candidate for the Armored Titan, 4 copies. All of your opponent's characters get Encore Pay 2. So he's basically just a big beat stick. This downside doesn't really come up super often. So often a lot of people just consider this 4K beater to just be just basically free big beats. And a really nice card to see in the trial deck. We have 2 copies of Reiner. So he is a 1/1 hand encore, just 5,500 base and gains 2,000 power if you have 2 or more other Eldian characters. Would have been a pretty nice card to potentially play in a standby deck, being able to bring this out at level 0, but unfortunately, AOT Final Season did not get standby. So unfortunately, this is pretty much just going to be relegated to just a trial deck card. We have 2 copies of the Jaw Titan. It's a 3,500 backup. And I believe that one just replaces Porco's card as a warrior candidate. Oh, no, that was right. So Marcel was sorry, my bad. Marcel was actually the original Jaw Titan, and then Reiner was the candidate for the Armored Titan because of Marcel talking up Reiner and talking down his brother Porco. So I believe we just do not have any Porco. Forgive my slight error on my memory. There's a lot of really exciting stuff happening in the final season, of course. Okay, we have 2 copies of the Berthold Assist. So he's a level assist. In addition, you can rest him to draw 1 card, discard a card. We have 2 copies of the Cart Titan, where when she attacks, you get to choose any of your Eldian or Titan characters, and it can include herself, and give it extra power. So this, along with the Udo level 2, allows you to have a really big offensive in the level 2 game. And then finally, we have the second copy of the Reiner level 3 that we looked at earlier. And of course, our 4 Climax's Reigning Titans. This doesn't combo with anything, but I mean, just look at these Titans. They're horrifying. All right, now we get on to the last few cards of the trial deck. This is where if we pull a foil card like a RRR or an SP, it would be back here. So let's go ahead and take a look. So we have our Falco Warrior Candidate. We have our second copy of Gabby Warrior Candidate, which is the level 3. We have our War Heroine Gold Bar. And then here's where the SPs would be. We have the level 0 Gabby, and unfortunately we did not pull an SP or RRR in our trial deck, but having looked at all the cards, there's a lot of really, really cool stuff to look at. Things like the Gabby and the Falco are really, really good cards that you could potentially see just in completed decks in general. So definitely keep on the lookout for those. Whether you are a beginner or an experienced player, you're definitely going to want to look out for some of these cards. So now that we've looked at the trial deck, let's go ahead and get a quick cleanup and move on to our next product, which is going to be the supply set. All right, guys, up next we have the supply set. So supply sets are a product that are given to the English original sets. So we've seen them for sets in the past like Ruby and Avatar Last Airbender will most likely be getting that soon as well. Other sets like Adventure Time. So these supply sets come with a lot of really, really cool stuff. Obviously, with the name implying you're getting some cool card supplies like the sleeves and the deck box. So we'll go ahead and crack this open and take a look at what's inside. Of course, with these supply sets, we are going to be getting a few booster packs, but because it's not like a booster box, where booster box you have some expected ratios, this honestly just could be anything coming out of these packs. So go ahead and take a look at what's inside. First thing, of course, we have the deck box. We have Eren on the front, Armin on the side, Mikasa on the other side. And on the top, we just have the Attack on Titan Final Season logo. And then on the back, we have what is, I believe, the Colossal Titan. Not 100% sure, but I mean, it has that shape. I did check beforehand just to make sure it wasn't the Warhammer Titan, and I'm pretty sure it's not. So we have this very beautiful box with all this lovely art from the double R's on all of the sides. Now, as for a quick size comparison without having to open this, we do have one of the previous supply set boxes over here. We have the Ruby box. And so, as you can see, these boxes are quite large, and they are able to fit not only a double-sleeved, I don't know if you guys can get a good look at that. They not only fit a double-sleeved deck of cards, but there's also ample space afterwards if you want to put things like extra cards. In case you want to switch some cards out, you can put some extra sleeves in the back. There's plenty of room. And yeah, these boxes are just great. You have that Velcro that closes the box shut, and it is the same on the AOT box. So very nice deck box here to put your decks in. And of course, we have the Attack on Titan Final Season sleeves. We have the Eren right here before he put his hair up in the ponytail. And these are some great sleeves as well. And I believe these come with 60 sleeves. Yep, 60 sleeves. As far as the packs that you do get one promo pack. We'll talk about this in a sec, as well as 5 booster packs of just AOT Final Season. And the one thing in the supply set that not a lot of people know about, this is the well-kept secret, is we have here at the bottom of the box, if you actually pull the bottom packaging out, this is actually a deck divider. So if you want to, you can go ahead and cut this out and then go ahead and slide it into your deck box, so you can put it in between your deck and the extra cards and extra sleeves that you guys have. And yeah, it's really, really nice. It's just nice, sturdy cardboard. You can go ahead and throw that right in. Something that just not a lot of people know about. All right, let's go ahead and get on to the packs. So as you guys can see, we do get a special PR pack. There are 10 different unique cards that you can pull out of this promo pack. They are all based on the characters before final season. So they will be cards with core trait as opposed to Eldian Trait. And also we are going to see some of the characters in their previous season forms. So characters such as Ymir, who of course we now know has been eaten by Porco, and she's no longer the Jaw Titan, as well as Bertolt, who, as we also know, is no longer the Colossal Titan, as that is now Armin. So we are going to see some of those characters, and because the cards from this promo pack are they're just going off the old traits, so like Core and Weapon or Core and Titan, they are going to basically be really, really easy slot-ins if you just want to take a deck from the first couple sets and just get some quick upgrades, because these are all extremely powerful cards. Now, as far as this card, the pack does say 20 types, so that is because each of the 10 cards in this promo pack have a chance to be non-foil or foil. And so in each of these promo packs, you are going to be getting 3 non-foil cards and 1 foil card. So let's go ahead and just see what we have inside. And yeah, as I said, all of these promo cards, very, very powerful, very strong additions to the first couple sets of Attack on Titan. Let's go ahead and take a look what we got. So first card we have is the level 3 Eren. This is an early play if you have 2 or less climaxes in the waiting room. During your turn, if all of your characters are core trait, he gets 2,000 power, and he has on play, discard 1 card, put the top card of your collected stock, so he's a stock healer. Very, very powerful card, and just fits right in with the original core trait deck. Additionally, if you want to build a core trait deck using some of the cards from Final Season, as there are cards that reference both Eldian and core, a lot of these cards can fit right into those decks as well. So whether you're building off of the old or the new, these cards can be very powerful additions to your arsenal. Next up, we have the level 3 Eren Titan. So this has both the Musashi ability, where when he's canceled on the turn that you play him, you mill the top card of your deck and you burn your opponent for X, where X is the number of the level of the card you milled plus 1. And additionally, he has on attack, you can pay 1, discard a card, choose up to 3 of your core characters, give them 500 power and plus 1 soul. This could potentially give himself soul in order to more easily leverage that Musashi burn. He can buff your character's soul for more precise damage into your opponent. Very, very powerful card overall. For our third non-foil, we have the Eren. This is, or not the Eren, the Erwin. This is a Summon Ricky. So first of all, he has the ability where when he's placed on stage from hand, if you have 2 or more other core characters, you can draw 1, discard 1. And on play, you can pay 1, put the top card of your deck into clock to search your deck for up to 1 level 1 or lower core character, or sorry, 1 cost 0 or lower core character whose level is equal or lower than your level, and place it on stage. So Summon Ricky. One funny thing about this card is that previously, this card did not have the level restriction, and while that did get fixed, this card now actually says, search your deck for a character in your hand. So obviously, not really making much sense there, but we'll need to probably see a second fix. But basically, yeah, Summon Ricky, another very powerful card that you could potentially add to your arsenal. And then finally, for our foil, let's go ahead and take a look at what we have. We have the level 3 Bertolt. So this is a 4 or more early play. If you have 4 or more core or Titan characters, then he gets level -1 in your hand. He has an on-play top check X effect, and also when he attacks, if you have 4 or more or other core or Titan characters on stage, you get to choose any of your characters, give it 3,000 power. That should be very, very easy to accomplish, as his early play condition is to have 4 characters already on the board. So you can just go ahead and just give that buff himself, buff anything else you want. Really, really strong card. So yeah, all of the PRs from this PR pack, very, very strong. Obviously, not going over all of them right now, so you guys can go ahead and check out the other ones for yourself. Now, let's get right into the packs. As I said earlier, as these are just loose packs and they're not in like a booster box or anything is possible. We could pull a bunch of double Rs, we could pull a secret, we could pull no double Rs. Let's just go ahead and get right into it. As far as the lower rarity cards, if I see any really cool cards, we'll go ahead and take a quick look at those. We have the level 0 Willie Tiber. He has an on-play ability that lets you buff one of your other Eldians, as well as an ability where you can sacrifice him and discard a card to choose one of your opponent's characters and move it to another slot on stage. So this can be very, very useful for potentially pulling up your opponent's back row and killing their utility cards. Really cool card. A lot of recurring theme with the blue characters, so characters in the Marleyan military like Porco, Peak, Zeke, and Reiner. They have a lot of synergy with Pants climaxes, and this Porco is no different. We have the Gabby level 2, a really strong hexproof attacker at level 2. And we pulled a double R. Awesome. We have the level 0 double R Armin Brainstorm. This is a really, really strong card for both the old and the new decks. So he has a Brainstorm, pay 1, rest him, Brainstorm 4, and then for each climax you salvage an Eldian or core character. But he also has a Brainstorm, pay 2, rest him, and then you Brainstorm 4, and then for each climax you Brainstorm, you get to salvage a climax. This is an ability that I think we've only seen one time, maybe 2 or 3, not sure. It would have to be on some really, really old cards. But the one that I know of is a card in a JP exclusive set called Gigant Shooter Tsukasa, which came out like years and years ago, and we have just not seen it since. And so it's really, really cool to see this ability coming back on this Armin. So he has the flexibility of being able to grab characters or maybe even grab climaxes. Really, really cool card. And having these really neat options really fits a character like Armin, where he's the strategist and you want to really go in with a really, really diverse game plan. We have the 3/1 Reiner event. Lets you search 3, discard 1. We have Aaron level 1 combo with choice. This set has a lot of choice climax combos. And then for our rare, we have the Reiner level 0. This is a ditch climax salvage. Also on play, gains 1500 power. All right, let's go ahead and just put those there. All right, going into our second pack. So one double R, already doing quite well. Let's see if we can pull some more stuff. So we have the Kaya JC, pretty neat card, allowing you to potentially bounce back some of your other characters that are being attacked back to your hand to keep them safe, or even prevent your opponent from getting an on-reverse ability. We have Dr. Kassaver. We have Colt. We have Lara Tiber, the Warhammer Titan. And I believe this is also another card that could potentially need an errata. This second ability, usually it says at the beginning of the Encore step, if you do not have another rested character in your front row, you can pay 1, rest her. But this one says at the beginning of your Encore step, so we will need to see the future of this card as far as whether or not this card will end up getting a fix. We have Connie Conversation at Sunset. A lot of these cards with the sunset scene where they were talking about who would potentially inherit the founding Titan from Aaron. They were, just having a really wholesome friend moment where they were just discussing which of them would inherit and trying to be really selfless and say that they would make the sacrifice for each other. And so all of these Conversation at Sunset cards, they do have synergies with those choice climaxes. And so if you're playing an 8-choice deck with all of those characters, these cards do have a lot of really, really neat effects. Okay, now speaking of choice climaxes, this is not a choice climax that synergizes with, or this is not one of those Conversation at Sunset cards, but this is a choice climax, the level 3 Flock, where if your opponent has a level 3 or higher card, he is an early play. Additionally, he gets 1500 power for each of your back row Eldian or core characters, and he has a climax combo with the Jaegerist's choice climax, where you can choose one of your opponent's characters, bounce it, and then salvage 2. So against certain decks, where they want to put their level 3s on the board and then just keep them there. So an example of a deck like that would be Rhodesia from Hololive. This Flock could be a very, very annoying disruption to their game plan, as you can put them onto the board because they have a level 3 character, and then use his combo to bounce their characters back to the hand and then simultaneously salvage a bunch of characters for yourself. Okay, level 1 Gabby, a really, really strong stock charge option. So this is definitely a card you're going to want to look out for. And for our rare, we have the level 0 Colossal Titan, where he has an on-play pay 2 free fresh ability, as well as on play, you reveal the top card of your deck, and if it is an Eldian or core character, you can give one of your characters 2000 power until end of turn. Really, really neat card. You would mainly be playing it for the free fresh utility to be able to get out of a bad deck state. All right, moving on to our third pack. Again, another Conversation at Sunset card, synergizes with Choice. We have the Zeke Climax combo. Have level 2 Aaron, this is a level 3 killer that can also potentially get you some free stock. We have Arter Browse, this is Sasha's dad, and this is actually a really, really powerful card. Assist 500, and then you can rest 2 of your characters to give a character on reverse blind stock. So this is another great way, in addition to the level 1 Gabby that we just looked at, to potentially get a lot of extra resources, a lot of extra stock. Level 1 Colossal Titan, big beater. Level 0 Hanji. War Titan, this is a back row for the Titan deck, usually. Or for the blue Titans, the military deck. Here we have the level 0 Sasha. So this is a Climax swapper, where on play you can pay 1, discard a Climax, and salvage a Climax. And additionally, she has on play optional mill 3. So it's a fantastic card. Gives you some optional mill utility if you need to get through your deck. And Climax swap, always a very useful profile for ensuring that you have the right Climax for your Climax combos. All right, for our fourth pack, we have a couple more cards that synergize with Pants a whole bunch of cards that synergize with Pants Climaxes between the Jaw Titan, the Peak level 2, and the Zeke level 1. All of these cards just playing into that blue military deck with Pants Climaxes. We have Historia during her pregnancy. This is actually a card that has the exact same effect as the Glinda level 1 from Ruby, if you guys are familiar with that card. We have Commander Teo Magath. Interestingly, I believe this is one of, if not the only cards in the entire set that does not have Eldian Trait, as he is a Marleyan. And some of the other prominent Marleyans that we have seen in the Attack on Titan final season, such as Yelena and Onyankopon, those characters do not actually have character cards. So Commander Magath, I believe, the only military non-Eldian character in the set. We have Mikasa, Conversation at Sunset, another choice synergy card. Warhammer level 3, a pretty nice off-climax finisher. And then for our rare, we have the Levi minus Soul counter. This also serves as a sack counter in case you want to sacrifice your own characters off the board in order to prevent your opponent from getting an on-reverse ability. But outside of that, he does have the minus soul utility, where you can pay 1, sack one of your characters when you use his backup ability, choose one of your opponent's characters, minus 1 soul. Here we have Sasha, Conversation at Sunset, choice synergy. We have Porco, we have Reiner, we have Dot Pixis, pretty flexible back row option as well, being able to either tap himself to buff or pay to tap himself to search your deck for an Eldian or core character, add it to your hand. And we got an SR, awesome. So our SR for our supply set, not that you're guaranteed one, but the SR we got is the level 0 Zeke. So this is actually normally a double R card, and he is a mill runner by milling an Eldian or core character, Eldian, just only Eldian character. And then also when he's placed on stage from hand, you can reveal the top card of your deck, and if it is an Eldian character, you can put it underneath him as a marker that gives him 1000 power. So he can be a 3k mill runner if you hit that top check. Really, really nice. Let's go ahead and just continue. We have level 2 Falco, level 1 Mikasa event, and we have the Smug Flock. I believe the alt art of this, I believe this has an SR where he has the face where he puts his finger next to his face. That's a really, really infamous meme face in AOT final season, and I believe the alt art has that face. Not 100% sure, but another really, really good card where on play you reveal the top card of your deck, and if it is an Eldian or core character, you get to give any of your characters 3k until end of turn. So that can buff him up to 6/5, or just buff whatever else, what other character you need to give the buff to. And when he's placed from stage to your waiting room, you can pay to salvage 1. So that is it for our supply set. We did get 1 double R and 1 SR, so can't be disappointed about that. We got some really nice pulls. And let's go ahead and just get right into our third product, which is going to be our booster box. All right, guys, here we go. Let's get into our third and final product, the booster box. So as far as the special rarities in this particular set go, there are no normal SPs, and I know that sounds pretty weird. There are 3 special rarities that you could pull. There are SSPs, Secret Rare, and Titan Rare. And so obviously the Titan Rares go to the characters that represent the remaining of the 9 Titans, the ones that do not like overlap, like Eren. So we have, of course, for the Titan Rares, we have Eren, and then we have Reiner, Porco, Peak, Armin. I'm not 100% sure on the last 2. And then I know that 2 of the climaxes that go with the Titan Rares that can come with climax combos, those cards do also come Titan Rare. So there are 9 possible Titan Rares. In every case of AOT Final Season, you should be expecting 3 Titan Rares. The other rarities that you can get are the SSP, which is you should be expecting to get 1 SSP per case. And then the final rarity is the ever coveted Secret Rare, of which it is the level 3 Eren with the Declaration of War art that we do see on the cover of the box, as well as, of course, on our playmat. And the Secret Rare is, I believe it's 1 per master case. And if you do have the secret in your master case, it will replace one of the 3 Titan Rares. So your case will either include 1 SSP and 3 Titan Rares, or it will include 1 secret, 1 SSP, and 2 Titan Rares. So those are the 2 possibilities. Now, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get right into our booster box. So as far as the box topper promos go, there are, I believe, 7 varieties of these they're like basically chibis, but they're chimi instead. There are 7 varieties, and in every booster box, you're actually getting 2 out of the 7. So in this particular box, we got the Chimi Falco and the Chimi Mikasa. Now, let's go ahead and get into our box itself. 16 packs. Let's see what kind of good stuff we can get. All right, let's start with the left side. All right, so we did go through a bunch of good lower rarity cards, but there are still some that we haven't seen, such as the level 0 Peak. On play, she mills 2, and then for each Eldian character among them, she gets 1,000 bonus power until end of turn. And in addition, on play, she can you can discard a card to summon any level 0 character from your waiting room. So if you're missing crucial pieces like a Brainstorm or something like that, you can go ahead and use Peak's ability to discard any extra cards and grab those important pieces. The 2/2 Beast Titan. This is another great card that would have been really good if this set had standby, but unfortunately it doesn't. So probably just relegated to being pretty close to pack filler, honestly. And looks like we are going to be seeing our first double R, and it is the Gabby level 3. So this is a healer and finisher. So she is 9k base, goes up to 11k if you have 2 or more other Eldian characters. When she's placed on stage from hand or by the effect of the level 3 Sasha, which is another double R. Hopefully we can pull that to take a look at it. Then you get to heal 1, and she has an on-attack ability where she can pay 2, discard a card, force your opponent to mill the bottom 4 cards of their deck, and deal X damage to your opponent, where X is the number of climaxes. This is something that a lot of players refer to as a Michiru effect or an Icy Tail effect, depending on who you ask. And in addition, she gets 1,000 power until end of turn. So this could be a really great card for adding extra damage to your finisher turn, and potentially also just ripping some climaxes out of the bottom of your opponent's deck. That can be very useful if your opponent has a small deck and you just want to get through those climaxes. Okay, for our uncommons, a few that we already looked at, and then we pulled the Colossal Titan in our supply set earlier. Okay. All right, for our commons, we have a really good card for the meta right now, which is the level 1 Connie. So he's 4/5 base, and then during your turn, if you have another Eldian or core character, which should be very easy, he gets a 3,000 point bonus during your turn, so bringing him up to 7/5, very respectable number. And then when his battle opponent becomes reversed, the character that he reversed cannot use Encore for the rest of that turn. This is a very useful effect against the prominent standby decks in the meta right now, things like quintessential quintuplets with their 1/1 and 2/2 standby targets. as well as other standby decks like Mushoku Tensei. Although Mushoku Tensei doesn't have Hand on Court natively on their cards, it's still a very, very nice offensive option to be able to hit those high numbers and just make sure that those cards aren't coming back. So Connie, really, really powerful card. Oh, speaking of really, really powerful commons, we have this 2/1 Cart Titan. In my opinion, one of the strongest commons in the set. Honestly, one of the strongest cards in the set. So this is a 2/1 500. Don't let that small power fool you. This card has two very, very powerful abilities. On play, you mill the top 3 cards of your deck, and if there is a climax in those cards that you milled, you get to choose one of your opponent's level 3 or lower characters in the front row and just kill it. You just send it to waiting room. And then also, when she becomes reversed, if she's an anti-change bottom deck bomb, basically. So, very, very powerful card against very powerful and popular decks such as Kanata Marine Hololive, where you can play Cart Titan, mill 3. If you mill a climax, you can kill a Kanata, and then you can use her bottom deck bomb effect to get rid of another Kanata. And just a very, very powerful card. And honestly, I feel like this card is a reason to try to fit some blue in your decks, just to try to play this card, because it's a very, very powerful card in the current metagame, and definitely one that you should be looking out for, not only when you're playing as AOT, but when you're playing against AOT. You need to be making sure that they don't have access to this card. Alright, so we have level 0 Kaya and Cassava that we saw earlier. We have the Colt, level 2 Falco. We have the level 3 Reiner. I'm actually going to leave this on the side just in case we pull a specific level 3 Reiner double R. And then for our rare, another one that we already looked at, the level 2 Levi. Alright. Have the level 3 Mikasa free refresh. Okay, we have an early play Falco heal to stock. Here we have a pretty interesting card, the new omnidirectional maneuver gear. So obviously in the first couple sets of AOT, we had the 1-0 maneuver gear, and then in set 2, we had the 1-1 maneuver gear. And this new omnidirectional maneuver gear, while not sharing the name of those old ones due to having, new in the name, it's basically a combination of both. So you can either choose one of your core characters, bounce it, and then salvage discard, which is the same thing that the original 1-1 did. Or you can choose a core character in battle, and then move it, and then salvage a core character. So it's a little bit of a combination of the both. Unfortunately, it doesn't give you access to your deck like the original omnidirectional maneuver gear did. But just having these options is very, very nice. And then for our rare, another rare that we've already pulled in our supply set. So far, we're 3 for 3 on rares that we've already pulled. Hopefully we can pull some new rares and take a look at what some of those cards do, because there are a lot of really, really cool rares in this set as well. All right. Okay. Oh, and for our foil, we have level 0 John. So this is a card that normally comes as a rare. So if you have 2 or less stock, he gets plus 1500 power, bringing him up to 3500. And when he reverses his battle opponent, if you have another core or Eldian character, you can snipe one of your opponent's level 0 characters in the front row. Just send it straight to waiting room. This can be useful against profiles such as mill runners. If your opponent has like a runner plus another character on stage, you can use this on reversibility to get rid of the runner. And unfortunately, it doesn't send the card to like the bottom of the deck or the stock or the clock. So it will not play around on death abilities such as the ever popular level 0 Aqua, but still a pretty neat option that you can consider running. Here we have the level 2 Spiked Wine event. I'm pretty sure that this is the only way that Niccolo gets on a card as well. So I don't believe Niccolo has any character cards, and unfortunately, we just see his hands on this event card. But this is a card that has a lot of flavor. You choose one of your Eldian characters and you sack it, and then you get to summon a Titan character from your waiting room with level equal or lower than your level. So Obviously, for those of you who have seen AOT Final Season, you guys know that the wine is spiked with Zeke's spinal fluid, and it causes all of the Eldians to turn into Titans when he screams. You have level 3 Armin, one of the many choice climaxes in the set. And then for our rare, we pulled another rare that we've already pulled. Please, can I pull a new rare, please? Please? What was the other rare that we pulled? We pulled Flock. If this pack is Flock, bruh, there's no way, right? Okay. Alright. Some cards we've already seen. Armored Titan being able to buff. Oh, we have a second foil. We have a triple R Reunion Climax. This is the one that goes with the level 1 Reiner double R. So pretty nice Climax pickup here. And those are going to be our 2 foils. Unfortunately, that does mean, I believe, that we do not get any SSP or Secret or Titan Rare, unfortunately. But let's go ahead and go through the rest of these cards and see what else we can get. Don't be Flock, don't be Flock, don't be... Bro. You literally can't... You can't make this up. You literally can't make this up. Look at this. Oh my god. Literally the same 5 foils, or same 5 rares that we pulled from our supply set. Alright, but we do want to take a look at one more uncommon card. This is another very strong uncommon, the Osmobito, where it's a 2/2 event that lets you salvage 2 Eldian characters. So that's par for the course, 2/2 salvage 2. But if you have a Mikasa character on stage, you also get to choose a Eldian character from your waiting room, put it into stock, essentially making this a 2/1 event instead of a 2/2. So a lot of efficiency there. Bro, what is with these rares, man? I just want to see some new rares so we can talk about them. All right. Surely this time, new rare. All right. Have Mikasa Climax. Have a 1/1 Armin support, 3/2 Mikasa, and alright. We were guaranteed a new rare in this 6th pack, and so finally we have a new rare to talk about. The level 0 Beast Titan. This is basically, we're calling it Aqua at home. So it has a very similar on death effect, where on death you can pay 1, take 1 damage, and look at up to 2 cards from the top of your deck, add up to 2 Eldian or Titan characters from among them to your hand. The main differences being that this one clocks from the top of your deck, whereas Aqua clocks a character from your waiting room. Additionally, this card's power condition is different. Instead of being 3/5 in the center, this one has an on-play ability where you reveal the top card of your deck, and if it is an Eldian or Titan character, he gets plus 2,000 power until end of turn. So that does come with a nice added bonus of being able to look at the top card of your deck, which can be important for confirming the top card for some of your other abilities. And he's still able to reach that 3,500 offensive power threshold without also having to be in the middle like Aqua. So, has some pros and cons compared to Aqua, but still a very strong card nonetheless. Okay, haven't pulled any more double Rs yet. Here we have another very strong rare, the level 0 Aaron Titan. So when this is placed on stage from hand, he basically has assignable drop assassin. So normally when you have this drop assassin ability, gaining 500 times the number of characters you have on the board already, normally that effect just gives it to itself, but this one lets you give it to any of your characters, which is really, really strong, and can be really useful for buffing anything that needs buffing. And in addition, he has another on-play ability where you can discard an Eldian character or core character to draw a card. So allowing you to just filter cards out of your hand as well. Very, very strong card overall. Okay, for our last pack of the first half of the box, do we have a double R? We do. We have the level 1 Mikasa. And so this has a climax combo with the gate right here, where when she attacks, if all of your characters are Eldian or core trait, you get to look it up to 4 from the top of your deck, add up to 1 Eldian character or core character or the new maneuver gear, and add that to your hand and send the rest to waiting room, and then she gets plus 1,000 power until end of the turn. So the new omnidirectional maneuver gear, not working with any of the old combos that work with the old maneuver gear, such as the Wind Aaron or the Gate combo Krista, but is able to be grabbed off of the new Mikasa combo if you do want to run those in a deck. All right, finishing off this pack, we have level 1 Levi. This is a cost 0 Clock Bomb, as well as having on play Ditch Climax Salvage. Can be useful in those decks that have a lot of climaxes like Pants and Gold Bar, where you want to use those extra climaxes and discard them to get specific cards. And finally, moving on to the next half of the box. Let's go ahead and just run through. We've seen a lot of these cards already. Here we have level 1 Kaya. She has an on play, give herself power, and on attack, give on any character power. Here we have the John. I believe this is the first time we've actually pulled this John, but it is another Conversation at Sunset card that synergizes with the Choice package. And for our rare, we have the level 0 Gabby. This is a clean cut. During your turn, if you have another Eldian character, she gets 1 level and 1,000 power. That should be very, very easy to do, as when you're using these clean cut abilities that let you rescue other characters back to your back row, you need to have another character to rescue, and that'll simultaneously give her that power buff. So, very, very nice card. Useful for the early game. Okay, for our next pack, no double R here. We have the Mikasa Free Fresh counter. So when you use this card's backup, you can pay 2 extra to free refresh your deck. As always, this is just a pretty nice card to have an option to grab when you're playing climax lineups like Gate or Choice, where if you trigger too many climaxes, you grab this out of your waiting room with the climax trigger, and then you can pay those climaxes out and free refresh. For our rare, we have the Cart Titan Spammable Brainstorm. She is a spammable search brainstorm where for every climax you hit, you get to search your deck for an Eldian or Titan, add it to hand, and discard a card. And she also has, at start of climax phase, you can choose one of your Eldian or Titan characters, give it 1,000 power until end of turn. All right, no double R. Here we have the Anti-Marleyan Volunteers. Again, this is, I'm pretty sure, basically the only place that we get to see Yelena and Onyankopon on any cards. They just don't have character cards in the set. And this is another card that goes with the Choice deck, where you reveal the top 9 cards of your deck, and then you shuffle, and then you deal X damage to your opponent, where X is the number of Choice trigger cards that were within those 9 that you revealed. You have the Peak Brainstorm. This is a Brainstorm designed to go in the 8 Pants Titan deck, because she is a Brainstorm 5, but she only hits on Pants climaxes. For our rare, we have the level 3 John. This is a card very similar to level 3 Megumin from Konosuba, where he lets you summon another character from your hand for free, ignoring the stock cost, and he also has an on-attack burn ability. Unlike the Megumin, though, his burn is burn 4 instead of burn 5, which is honestly probably a more preferable number. 5 damage, obviously you are having a higher damage potential, but it's harder to hit 5 and have it stick than a 4. Okay, here we have level 0 Falco Brainstorm. So this one has a Brainstorm 4 that works with specific climaxes for the level 1 Falco and the level 3 Sasha. So neither of which we have seen. They are both double Rs, but this is a Brainstorm that is designed to go into that deck. Okay, and still no double R. For our rare, ooh, another really powerful rare in the set. This is one of my personal favorite rares, the level 0 Historia. So she has 2 on-play effects. For those of you who are familiar with sets like Quintessential Quintuplets or That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, they both make very, very great use of this ability where on play, you discard a card and then you reveal the top card of your deck, and then you salvage a character whose level is equal or lower than the level of the revealed card. Now, what's really cool about this Historia is that her second on-play effect is on play, you can look at the top card of your deck and either leave it there or send it to the waiting room. So this gives you options on whether or not you want to leave the top card if it has a good level, or if it's like, let's say your top card is a level 0, and then you play the Historia, you look at the top card, you see it's level 0, but you want to hunt for a higher level. You can send that card to waiting room, and then you reveal the next card on top instead, and you get a second chance. So really, really strong card. And then also this topper waiting room ability, incidentally, just has a lot of different uses with other cards. So you can use it with your Brainstorms. You can use it to confirm that the top card of your deck is a clean trigger. There's a lot of really unique ways that you can utilize this top check effect. And this is just a really, really powerful card overall. All right, let's keep going. Where's our double R's? There we go. We pulled another copy of the Armin Brainstorms. There's a card that we already pulled in our supply set, of course. And then for our rare, we have the level 3 Zeke. This is an early play. You can play him at level 2. If you have 2 specific cards, you need both the Peak Brainstorm, which I believe was an uncommon. Yeah, you need the Peak Mediator Brainstorm, as well as the Porco level 2 Assist, which is... Was that one also an uncommon? I think it might have been. Where is this card? I'm pretty sure I pulled it. Oh, here we go. Porco Harsh Words. We actually just pulled it. So if you have both the Porco level 2 and the Peak Brainstorm on your stage, he gets to come in at level 2, and he is a heal to stock by discarding a card, and also he gains 500 power for each of your other Eldian characters, which allows him to reach a pretty massive 13k power. All right. On the home stretch, we have our last 3 packs, and we've only pulled 2 double R's so far. Or we've only pulled 3 double R's so far, not 2. What am I talking about? And this is also not a double R. We do have a Connie Leaf counter, though. And for our rare, we have the... Did I say it was a double R earlier? Okay, my mistake. It was actually a rare. Just in case I said it was double R. But here we do have the level 3 Reiner Armored Titan, who goes with the Facing Off Pants Climax. So these are a really cool pair of cards because the Armored Titan is an extremely powerful Climax combo where when he attacks, if you have a full board of Eldian and Titan characters, you can pay 2, discard a card to reveal the top 9 cards of your deck, and then burn X twice, where X is the number of Pants Climaxes that you revealed in those 9 cards. Now, in exchange for having this extremely powerful Climax combo, he doesn't have an on-play ability, but this level 3 Reiner has on-play heal, and then also has an act ability that lets you sacrifice himself to change into the Armored Titan. So that essentially, by running this 2-card package, allows you to have your cake, which is the heal, and then eat it too, which is the Climax combo. It lets you have both halves of an on-play ability and a powerful Climax combo. So I definitely like when you're running the level 3 Armored Titan combo to also be running that Reiner change and be able to get both halves. You get both the heal and the burn. Really, really powerful combination. Okay, for our second to last pack, we do have a double R. We have the level 1 Reiner. So the Reiner Climax combos with this Pants Climax, the Reunion. It's actually the one that we pulled the triple R of, where on play, or not on play, during your turn, if you have another Eldian character, he gets 1500 power, making him a 6k body. And then also, when he attacks, if you have a full board of Eldian characters, you can discard a card, and then you do like a Shizu combo, but you salvage twice. So you mill 2, and then you add up the levels, and then both characters that you salvage are their level is based on the sum of the 2 cards you mill. So it's a really, really interesting card, being able to fix your hand while at the same time getting Shizu-esque effects. And the fact that you are playing this in a deck with like 8 Pants Climaxes means that it's very, very easy to use this effect to filter those extra climaxes out of your hand as you trigger Pants Climaxes, or you're adding climaxes to your hand constantly. Okay, here we have, I don't know if we pulled this earlier, but this is definitely a pretty important card to look at, the Porco level 0. So he has a bottom deck bomb, which is very important in the current meta, being able to perma remove some very powerful on-death abilities, such as the Aqua level 0 and Hololive. But he also has a really great utility effect as well, where you can pay 1, sack him, look it up to top 4, grab an Eldian character from among them, and add it to your hand and send the rest to waiting room. And for our rare, we have level 0 Connie. He is a 2k base, and then when you play him, you can reveal the top card of your deck and put it underneath him as a marker if it is an Eldian or core character. And as long as he has a marker, he gains 1500 power and gains the ability where on reverse, during either player's turn, you can, or actually you have to salvage an Eldian or core character and discard a card. So this can be a very, very useful ability for having a stockless filter, being able to just, salvage, discard without having to pay any stock. But you do have to be careful about this effect because it is mandatory. So let's say you have no cards in your waiting room at all. The effect will resolve as much as possible. So you choose one Eldian or core character in your waiting room, return it to your hand, but you cannot do that. But you still have to discard a card. So you do have to be very, very careful when playing profiles like this to have cards in waiting room so that you don't accidentally -1 yourself. All right, and then for our last pack, we have no double R. All right, so that pretty much sums it up for our booster box. For our last rare, we got level 0 Hanji. She is a level 0 Clock Bomb, so another card that you can use to permanently remove cards like Aqua. And then she also has On Play, look at up the top 2 cards of your deck, and then you can rearrange them in any order. So just as a quick recap, we have for our double Rs that we pulled between both our supply set and the booster box itself, we have basically pulled 5 double Rs. So we got the Gabby level 3, Mikasa level 1, Armin level 0 Brainstorm, then we pulled the Reiner and the Zeke Mill Runner. So just real quick, I'm gonna pause the video for a sec. I'm gonna go grab the other 5 double Rs so that we can show you to those guys real quick, or show those guys to you real quick. And then, yeah, we'll just go ahead and wrap it up. And, yeah, be right back. All right, guys, we are back. And I have the remaining 5 double Rs that we did not pull. So first up, we have the level 0 Levi Riki. Very, very powerful profile. If you guys have been playing Weiss for any amount of time, you guys are probably familiar with these Riki profiles where on play you can pay 1, put the top card of your deck into your clock, and then search your deck for a level 1 or lower character. It's just a really, really nice way to consistently set up your level 1 game, and this Levi is no different. Additionally, he has an effect where when your other Eldian or core character attacks, he gets an additional 1k power until the end of the turn, allowing him to potentially attack for up to 3,500 power. Really, really nice card. And for our other green double R, we have the level 1 Falco. So this card, somewhat reminiscent of the Corone combo from Hololive, if you guys are familiar with that, where his Climax combo lets you assign an on-reverse plussing effect to one of your characters. And so in this case, it is a Climax combo with a gold bar. Here we go. Climax combo with a gold bar. And on attack, you get to choose one of your characters and give it on-reverse salvage. So unlike Corone, which is an on-reverse search, this gives on-reverse salvage. Another key difference between the two cards is that Falco lets you assign power anywhere on attack. He lets you assign 1,500 power, and that can be really useful for having some creative power lines to get over your opponent's board. So really, really nice card. For our second red double R, so to go with the Mikasa, we have the level 3 Sasha. And so this card has on-play salvage, and then has a Climax combo with Fatal Wound, which, I mean, we all know what's happening in this scene, and the flavor that comes from this particular Climax combo is not everyone's cup of tea exactly, but it is some flavor that we do have. So the level 3 Sasha combo combos with the Fatal Wound Gate Climax, and it says at the end of her attack, you can pay 2, discard 2, and then put her into your memory, and then you get to choose one Eldian or core character besides another copy of herself from your waiting room, and then put it on stage. And so this can be a really useful card for extending your finisher turn by bringing out other finisher cards, such as, for example, the level 3 Reiner that we saw in the trial deck earlier. He has an on-attack ability that potentially deals some extra burn damage. But the intended target for this combo, unfortunately, is the level 3 Gabby, where you can use the Sasha ability to go into the Gabby. This actually also procs the Gabby's heal. Her heal specifically procs if she is brought into play either from hand or by specifically Sasha. And then you can transition immediately into Gabby's finisher combo. And so yeah, Sasha into memory, and then bringing out the Gabby with this climax is kind of Especially if you guys have seen the foil version of the Fatal Wound climax, it's kind of blatant, if you know what I mean. It's got that close-up shot. But yeah, this is definitely a very powerful finishing combo that you can look into playing. And similar to the level 3 Reiner that we saw earlier, where we have the level 3 Reiner that heals, and it changes into the level 3 Reiner that has the actual finisher, this one kind of does a similar thing, where the Sasha does not heal on play, but by transitioning her into the Gabby, that allows you to get the heal after all, because the Gabby heals on play. So pretty powerful combination that you can look to run in your Eldian-based decks. Not necessarily a core-based deck, because the Gabby does not have the core trait, so wouldn't work quite as well, but it is something that you could potentially try out as well. And then for our last two double Rs, we have, of course, the main man, Eren. So Eren has two level 3 double Rs, one of them in his human form and another in his Titan form. So let's first take a look at the level 3 human form. It is an early play healer if you have 4 or more Eldian or core characters. And then he has an on-play heal. And then during your turn, if you have another Eldian or core character, which should be like automatic pretty much, he gets plus 2500 power, and optional on reverse, you can send the opponent's reverse character to stock, and then if you do, the bottom stock comes out into the waiting room. Very, very powerful card. 8-5 base is like, you know, it's not the highest, but being able to get to that 11k offensive power threshold is very high, and being able to leverage that stock kick for some permanent removal is very, very powerful against a lot of very common decks right now, such as standby, things like the aforementioned quintessential quintuplets. Very, very strong ability, being able to permanently remove stuff. And then for our final double R, we have the level 3 Eren Titan Declaration of War. And this is a very powerful level 3 finisher. He is an on-play heal as well, gaining 1k for each card in your opponent's back row, so he potentially goes up to 11k power. And his climax combo is with the Declaration of War Choice Climax, which is right here. When he attacks, if you have 2 or more other Eldian or core characters, you can discard 1 card, and if you do, your opponent mills the bottom 4 cards of their deck. You count the number of level 0 cards that were milled, including climaxes, and then you deal that much damage to your opponent. And so, because pretty much every deck is running 8 climaxes and is going to have a pretty decent number of zeros, usually somewhere around like 16 to 18, this usually has a pretty good chance to deal like 2 or 3 damage, and it's basically like almost never going to be inflicting 0 damage. It's very, very rare. And so this just gives a very consistent source of damage. The amount of damage not necessarily consistent, but being able to actually deal damage to your opponent is pretty consistent. In addition to, because it mills the bottom 4 cards of your opponent's deck, it potentially screws up your opponent's deck. If they were like very compressed with a small deck, you can just mill that out, get it out of the way, and potentially also adding a refresh point to your finishing damage output by just milling all of the cards out of your opponent's deck. So very, very powerful combo, and probably one of the picks for one of the most potent combos that we have available in AOT Final Season. Now then, with all the double Rs out of the way, there is a couple more things that I want to show you guys. So first, we do have some Titan rares. We don't have all of them, but I wanted to at least show you guys some of the stuff that we do have. So here we have the Beast Titan, as well as Armin's Colossal Titan. These are the level 0 Beast Titan that's kind of like Aqua, as well as the level 0 Armin Colossal Titan that is the free refresh. And then we also have the 2 Titan rare climaxes that go with the level 3 Eren and the level 3 Reiner. And so both the level 3, I'm sorry. I believe the level 3 Reiner comes as a Titan rare, but I believe the Titan rare for the Eren is the level 0 buffer, that on play you get to choose one of your characters and buff it, and also on play discard a character to draw cards. So these are the 2 Titan rare climaxes. And then we have a couple SSPs as well. We have here the Mikasa and Levi. These both correspond to their double Rs, of course, and they do have the beautiful colored sign print. You gotta love the color coordinated sign colors. And then, of course, saving the best for last, we have Eldian Titan, Declaration of War, Secret Rare. And of course, we've got to have that recurring Declaration of War art that we have seen time and time again. It's on the playmat, it's on the box, it is on the congratulations climax that some of our BRO competitors have been playing for in the online tournaments. And this is just a very, very iconic art from Attack on Titan final season, and definitely a well-deserved secret rare art, I believe, for the set, in my opinion. So there we have it. That has been our Attack on Titan final season product opening, as well as a bit of card review. Hopefully you guys enjoyed and learned something new. If you guys have any questions, as always, feel free to leave those down in the comment section below. And we're going to be coming at you guys with, of course, lots of AOT content on the way. Things like our TD++. We're going to be having a deck overview, not really so much of a deck profile, as there is just a lot to go over, and we want to really go in detail on what some of these options are and what sort of things that you can do with the set. And of course, we're going to have some gameplay, so stay on the lookout for that. And until then, this has been Randall, aka Shizukatz, on the Tressa's Collectibles channel, and we'll see you guys in the next one. See ya!